morning, everyone. Welcome to week 2 of Imagine 2022. This session is Mindful Monday, Practice Gratitude. Imagine 2022 is sponsored by the President's Office, Career Services, and the Alumni Association. We're really excited to have you here with us today. My name's Mary Buske, and I'm a career coach in Career Services, working with undeclared and exploratory students. We have 2 students here today who are going to be co-hosting the session with me. Kiara and Stone, would you like to introduce yourself, share your major, when you're graduating, maybe a fun fact?
Yes, I'll go. Hello, everyone. I'm Kiara Montero. I'm a junior majoring in broadcasting and human development, and I'm expected to graduate May 2023.
Hey, everyone. My name is Stone. I am a senior right now, expected to graduate in May 2022. I have a major in business administration and my minor is in sports studies.
So for Kiara and Stone, they've both done a gratitude workshop with me before. So this is something that I've done with student organizations and just student groups in a 1-hour capacity. We decide that's really important and we really want to help you practice gratitude and mindfulness to stay energized and re-energize you for this upcoming semester. So we decided to condense this into a 30-minute session. With this, if you're interested in more, it will be a full-blown program in the spring, open to all of our students and alumni if they want to show up too. But both Stone and Kiara, they've done this before in the full capacity. They're really engaged, so they're here to give their feedback and engage and get you engaged. Before we really hop into it, just so you know, today's activity is going to be recorded and it's going to be posted on the Imagine 2022 website. So if you want to share this with friends, feel free so they can consume it later. If you just want to go back and do it again, it will be there. For it, the whole entire event will not be recorded. So we'll be recording the front half, but the last half of the presentation will be mainly discussion based, and we will stop the recording for that time. With that being said, feel free to have your camera on during the event. You don't have to, but we would love to see your faces if that's something that you are comfortable with.
Also, to piggyback off of Mary, something to keep in mind is please keep your microphone muted just to prevent like any distractions or disruptions throughout the presentation. And you're also welcome to chat with us through the in the chat throughout the presentation.
And for those of you that haven't already, the Imagine 2022 interest form, if you could fill that out and check out the events that are happening on the website so you don't miss out on the other programs that are going to be happening this month. I think Mary already shared the links in the chat, or she is now. So
yeah, I just redropped it. So thank you for giving those. If you have any questions on those, let us know. Feel free to unmute when you talk, turn your cameras on if you'd like to, and we're going to hop right into it. So we're here to practice gratitude. That's the name of the game, the name of the program. The biggest question we need to answer is, what is gratitude? So when you think of gratitude, what do you think of? Feel free to unmute, share, throw some comments in the chat. We would love to know what you think.
I mean, if I might just start here. To me, like when I think of like the word gratitude, I just think of like showing appreciation for like everything that is going on in your life. And it doesn't have to be just people. It could be, I am grateful for, you know, my favorite bagel place in the morning or pretty much anything. So I think gratitude is really important.
I'm sorry. I also wanted to say something. I feel like it's when practicing gratitude, I feel like that just being able to really understand what it is that you're doing gives you a better idea on how to practice it. You can't really practice gratitude if you don't know exactly what gratitude is, in a sense. I like to think of it as just like being kind and like showing what you're thankful for. If anyone else would like to share, feel free.
So, oh, go ahead, Yadi.
I was gonna say, I honestly just couldn't say it better myself. I mean, you guys pretty much hit the note for me, like being thankful, being appreciative, being grateful for something that you have. Sometimes it could be the littlest things you don't even notice. And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe like even having a roof under your head or having a meal today is like something that people kind of take for granted. But other people out there like people forget because you're living in your own little world, but like outside you're like, oh my God, like some people actually don't have that tonight and stuff like that. So
Thanks for adding. I appreciate that. On our slide right now is the definition of gratitude. So it's the quality of being thankful with the readiness to show appreciation for and return kindness. Big piece of gratitude is that readiness to show component. So putting it into action. Thinking of gratitude, we just had a great summary of what it is, what it means, how it really looks in different environments. With that, we want to highlight the benefits that there are to gratitude. For our host, do we each want to choose one out and just give a spotlight? Maybe one example we can see in our own lives?
Yeah, I think the one that really sticks out to me is the more social connections aspect. People are, very important in pretty much anyone's lives. Like we can't go through anything alone. And when you show gratitude, like to people, like they will in turn usually show it back, and it just creates stronger relationships.
Yes. And for me, I would definitely say improves mental strength. I feel like when you reflect on all the things that like you have and that you're grateful for, like it like lessens that cloud of like the negative in your life. Like you start to focus more on the positive and like it'll reflect in every other area of your life, whether it's work, school, like you'll just tend to feel just much better. Especially from my experience. Yes, I'll share a little bit more about that later.
I completely agree. The one I was looking at highlighting was improving psychological health. So when I look at it, those days where my anxiety really wants to take the front seat, or my energy is just low, or I'm just questioning my why, my reason, sometimes looking at what I'm grateful for and the things around me really just helps ground me, and keep me moving forward and like help my anxiety process through. So I feel like I can function a little bit better again. For everyone in the chat, is there one of these that like looking at it stands out to you? Feel free to throw that area group in the chat. If you want to share an explanation yourself of something you see in your life, we'd love to give you that space to do that as well. Big thing is you'll see them at different points in your life, different levels, enhancing self-esteem. Love that shout out in the chat. So it's different for every single person. You might feel more benefits on different days, depending on what type of way you choose to practice your gratitude. Increasing empathy, realizing what you made you grateful for and empathetic for those that don't have it. Yeah, thank you, Jen, for adding that. It connects really well to what Yadi shared with us a little bit earlier. Now we want to zoom in a little bit on those benefits of gratitude. Looking at career-specific benefits, your career development, your career exploration, gratitude can really have an impact on that. And here are some benefits of gratitude from the slide before and this slide. All this information is from positivepsychology.com, and I will throw those links in the chat, and we can hop into talking about career-specific benefits, where we might see those, some examples.
Oh wait, just to talk about one of the points on the slide, that last one that makes more effective managers, like that kind of stuck out to me specifically because it makes me think of a story of my friend. He works at a gym, and he is always talking about how great his management is and how great the owner is to him. And a big way that the big reason he feels like that is because of the gratitude that they show him. They're always like reaffirming, like, hey, thank you so much for covering the extra shift. A lot of people have been out with COVID or been getting sick or having to deal with things, and like it makes him want to work harder and do like better work because of how appreciative his managers are. And like even on the other end, like if I am working and my manager is like always telling me that they appreciate, like, oh, thank you for coming in, like, you do such great work, or like showing stuff like that and verbally like talking about it, like it definitely makes me want to, it makes it better to be there. So that's, I really like that last bullet point.
Yeah, I also wanted to mention, like, I feel like in work life, it's very easy to become like unhappy in your workplace, whether it's like burnout, stress, like all of this. So I feel like sometimes it's easier for us to just like focus on what we do have, and like that would help improve like our mental, physical, like health, rather than what we don't have. Because like I feel like also during this pandemic, we've seen like there's a lot of people who can't get work. Like just having like um a source of income and just having like something to fall back on, like that goes a really long way, and just being able to be thankful for that, like it says a lot within itself.
In career services, I feel like we talk a lot about your why when we're working with people. It's like, why are you interested in this field? Like, what keeps you energized? And gratitude can help with that. Your why got you there, and your why can keep you there. But looking at gratitude of like, what am I really grateful for in this work setting? What do I love about my job? Because there's going to be highs and lows. That's natural. That's a part of life. There's going to be rough days. Gratitude can help you get you through it. Of what was really my highlight of this week? What am I really grateful for today? So, and you can see that in a lot of the list on our slide. Does anyone have any thoughts that they want to share, or anyone have anything they want to add to this slide and maybe the career specific benefits that they've experienced or that they could think of experiencing in the future?
Just to piggyback off a little bit what you were saying, Mary, like about the highs and lows. I know, like I'm an RA on campus. I've been doing it for 3 years now, and like basically every staff meeting that I've ever had starts with everyone going around and talking about their highs and lows of the week, and even just like getting to talk about that with like a group, like I at first I was like, oh, like I didn't really understand it, but I see like the benefits of like actually like taking the time to think about like, oh, what was the best part of my week? Because sometimes it's just like, oh, I studied really hard and I got the grade that I wanted on that test, and it's like I wouldn't have thought twice about that, but like taking time to reflect can be huge, especially just like mentally.
I'm a big fan of high and low activities. And you can shape that even more to a gratitude activity and just do what is one thing that you're grateful for this week. Or like you can even tailor that question more in, because the highs and lows gets to it, but sometimes it's really fun. You can maybe try that with your staff of being like, let's actually tailor our normal question in a little bit and like dive deeper into the specific sector of it. And thanks for sharing that. Now we are going to jump into an activity. So we've talked about gratitude, what some benefits might be, but we want to help you get an idea of how you might be able to practice this. This activity has, realistically, there's a lot of things you can call it. I like to think of it of a 4-square brain dump. So what I challenge you to do right now is take out a piece of paper, open the notes area on your phone. If you're on the laptop, maybe open a different slide, or just something that you can write on and think of. So we'll give you a couple seconds to do that. With this, you're going to want to make 4 areas. So as you can see on the slide, there's sort of like edges. So if you fold your paper this way and then you fold it the other way, you can sort of have lines in the paper. Or if you're working on a perfect, thanks, Stone. Or if you're working on a digital platform, you can always just make like area 1, area 2, area 3, area 4, and you can do that as you go. What we're going to do is we are going to take some time to just think of what we're grateful for. And we are going to brain dump that. So we're going to give you a category, and then you're going to have 2 minutes, and we have a timer down in the bottom so you can have an idea where you're at for time for people who prefer to have that active knowledge. And hopefully it'll play some music if technology chooses to cooperate with us. You're going to have 2 minutes just to write down things, people, anything that you think of to that category that you're grateful for. It can be things you're grateful for today, things you were grateful for a year ago. Really take this and make this activity what you want it to be. For people who've done it before, do you have any tips approaching this activity? Because I know it is very broad.
I would just say that there's like no wrong answers and there's no thing like too little. Like if you're talking about like I said earlier, like even if you want to just say like I'm grateful for, you know, my phone, or like something like little that you wouldn't think about, like nothing is like too small, I don't think.
Yeah, perfect advice. This is an activity to judge yourself. There is really no wrong answers. In everything you write down, will stay confidential to you. We'll ask you to share out, but you won't need to so you can write down things and no one else ever needs to see it as well. Awesome. So we will hop into it. I'll give you the first category. We're going to be doing the activity as well. So if it looks like we're writing, or maybe we turn off our camera for a minute so that we can write, that is what is happening. So your first area is in your current environment. Interpret that however you want to. Okay, so that is our 2-minute timer. I hope you like the little jam session music. So stop for that area. It might be hard. I know you might have more to write down, but I really want to challenge you to move on to our next area, which is going to be things connected to SUNY Oswego. We're going to move into our next area, which is going to be towards your career goals. Now we're going to go into our fourth and final area for this activity, which is going to be things towards your life goals. So really interpret that as you want anything that gets you towards the life that you want to have for yourself. And that is time. So I encourage you to put down your pen, take your hands away from your keyboard and stop typing. And I know that can be hard, but to just come completely back, and we have our energy all here together because we're going to talk about this activity. To do that, I'm going to ask that everyone takes like a minute or so to go through and just count up how many you wrote for each area. It can be an approximate number. And also go through in anything that's on here that's a person or a group of people, give that a star, highlight it, whatever system works for you. So take a few minutes to do that. As you do that, I'm going to be stopping the recording in a moment. So I want to give a note to people who might be watching this a week later, a year later on our YouTube channel. Please take the time to reflect on what you wrote, why you wrote it, maybe how you could share that a little bit more to the people on that list. If you're interested in talking about any of this further, look for our gratitude workshops moving forward during academic semesters and feel free to attend it. Even if you did the activity here, it can always be different each time you do it and you reflect and have that discussion component with others. But thank you for tuning in.